Kind of like that music. Yeah.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, everybody.
This is Halisi
And
of Our
this
Black Utopia.
and this is Rick from Our Black Utopia. She stole my line.
Yeah, I did. This is interesting. This is interesting. So we're hearing a delay. So we're gonna do something right quick. So just bear with us. We see 3 people watching. Um, 4 people watching. Put your questions in the chat and we're gonna get started. One moment. I want to see why we're getting this.
I don't understand why it's doing that.
Yeah, I don't either. So I'm gonna 1 second, guys. We are gonna get started, but we're not gonna do this. Okay. We're still hearing a delay. That is so weird. We're just going to get started. We are so happy that you are joining us, and we've got an exciting conversation going. So what we're going to do today, we are going to talk to Cosmas Agwu about the 7 steps to build wealth starting with 0, right? So if you are new to our channel, Rick, what do we talk about here on our channel?
We talk about finances, retiring early, and generational wealth.
That's right. As well as money, travel, and retiring abroad. So if you're new to our channel, I'm sorry, we're a little discombobulated today, even though we started an hour early getting the tech ready, but that's okay. So if you are new to our channel, Rick and I had a financial wake-up call about 6 years ago, and we realized that we were not going to be able to retire anytime soon if we continued with our same habits. So it would take us probably about another 3 years before we got our act together. But when we did, we took our net worth from negative 22,000 to over 800,000, and you can do that too. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And without further ado, we are going to bring on Cosmas.
Cosmas.
All right.
Can you all hear me?
Hey, Cosmas, how you doing? Can you hear us okay?
Hey, Halisi, how you both doing today?
We are good.
What a beautiful day it is. It's Colorado weather. You guys are in California, I heard, huh?
Yes, LA.
Wow. I'm in Colorado. We have a great day here to do too. Well, I'm so grateful that you guys both of you want me to be part of this great venture about helping people plan their retirement, also having enough so that they can retire when they want to, not a certain age. You know, I don't know whoever say you have to retire at a certain age. If you can retire now, why don't you? So
exactly.
Why don't you? And where I come in that way, it's this: how money works. The whole idea, when you hear the word how money works, people say, "Oh, that's a cliche. What do you mean how money works?" Well, believe it or not, if you come from a family who all they do is work, and they don't save money, they don't know how to put it away, you retire as you're supposed to, but you don't have enough to retire on.
Right.
And that is not a good thing. But Halisi and Rick have done incredible because they've set a time and they follow through with that, and they're a good example of what we can do when we plan our lives ahead of us. And that is what I'm learning at the same time. I'm teaching people as a financial educator. Give you a little bit of my background. Like I was saying.
1 second, Cosmas. 1 second. I'm hearing a big delay, and I want to hear from the folks who are watching. I see about 8 to 10 people are watching. Can you let us know in the chat if you can hear us okay, and if the audio is okay?
Yes.
Let us know in the chat. I'm not seeing anything. So we're gonna take a second and let people let us know.
Okay. So we keep talking though, right? While they're doing that.
No, I want
I can hear you.
We can hear you. Can you hear what what we're hearing?
I can hear both of you very well.
You don't hear a delay. Okay, that's interesting. No. Thank you, because I think it's the headsets. So we're going to change headsets right quick. Okay, one moment.
Oh, all right.
It's this. I don't know what's going on with these. So I'm not sure what we're going to do.
There you go. We need a wired headset from Apple.
Why don't you use these?
Okay.
So Cosmas, you can continue explaining. Okay. We're going to go off screen for a second and fix our audio. Your audio apparently is just fine.
No problem. So, like I was saying, the goal, Rick and Halisi here, they have successfully been able to retire, okay, because they plan ahead. And how money works, what we do is we teach people how money works, because once you have the basics and you're able to manage what you have, you can build on it. And there's a book, the book called How Money Works, and I just put my email out there for you. And this is the book called How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. I don't know if any of you have seen this book. And if you have, you can leave a message for me there. Let me know that you have it. You can get this book on Amazon. Okay, and on Amazon it's going for $17. But if you are interested, I can get it to you for a whole lot lesser than that as compliments, but also being able to help you, serve you in any way that I can through this book. Now, there's something that is very important in this book that I always want people to do, and that is called the 7 milestones. What the 7 milestones are, the 7 steps that you have to take, that if you take those 7 steps from step 1 to step 7, you will have your financial house in order, and you will be able to retire and have a good life. Well, nothing is guaranteed, of course, like Rick and Halisi are doing right now. Okay, they're traveling all over the place, so which is kind of cool. Okay. So, and that's why I mentioned this book. The first step in this book is financial education. If you look at that book, let me go. It
is kind of cool. So we are back. Can you hear us now?
Loud and clear. Can everybody else hear her? Can you guys? Okay. Okay. So, like I was saying earlier, sorry, the first part of this book is it's called the 7 milestones. The first step of the 7 milestones is financial education. And what is financial education? Financial education is knowing how we go through this whole process. One is having a solid foundation on how this works. This book goes through the entire process, okay? And it gives you knowledge that you gain by reading this book. Actually, reading this book is your first goal. And like I was talking earlier, it takes this book takes only 2 hours to read, 2 hours or less, depends on how fast you read. And most financial books are boring. They'll put you to sleep. Believe me, actually, if you look in my library, I have a book that is on financial education. That book is this big. It was written by, what is that guy's name? He's a big guy. He's a muscular guy. I don't remember his name, but anyway.
Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins. Thank you. That's him. That book will bore you. I have that book here. But this is just illustration. If you guys look, it's all illustration and comic and everything. And this book sold 500,000 in the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And we have publication on this book on all the TV and radio channels. So we have about 252 times we've been on TV and all the channels, CS, CBS, NBC, all of them. So in a way, we're out there, and people need to realize that for you to be able to do anything, you have that. You stop being a sucker. That's the way I tell people. They go, "What do you mean stop being a sucker?" It's like going into the credit union and getting a. They give you a lollipop sucker. You know, it's funny now. You can get one called Smarties. It was made by the. It was made by the same company that made this.
The suckers,
yes,
made Smarties. Oh, that is hilarious.
So it's the same company. So kind of give you an idea.
That is hilarious. So
Yep.
we've got our you see that we're sharing a head file right now.
Yes.
And we took the time to do this because we had this great interview with another person and there was an echo throughout the whole thing. And we want to make sure that everyone gets this information. So we're going to start at step 1. So folks, get your pen out, get your paper out, because we are about, really?
Of course, she gets a phone call.
And it's spam. We are about to give you the key to getting to wealth, starting from zero. Okay. So the first step in the book that Cosmas is talking about is financial education. If you're listening, you're already doing that. You are getting educated financially. But why is that so important, Cosmas?
Thank you for asking that. It's the way I tell people, it's like travel. When you travel, like you guys are in California now, when you decided to leave Denver for California, you have to have a plan on how far you want to, when you want to get there, and what you want to do when you get there. That is your number one plan. You put all your stuff together when you plan to leave. That's step 1. So if you don't have a plan and you just say, "Oh, Rick, come on, let's just go," guess what? It may be longer. You may have a lot of surprise. You may run out of gas. You may have some situations that you didn't even plan for. Those are the basic things that we tell people to plan for in their finance. Same thing. If you make $20 an hour, and that's all you make an hour, add that up and see how much that comes to. With gas price almost $5 now, I think actually in California, I'm sure it's more than $5.
It's
$5 here.
It's
how much?
It's $6 a gallon.
$6.50 if you need the mid-level.
The mid-level. So it's 5. It's already 5 over almost middle 5.5 here already. So if you think of going to LA, where you guys at, and you're gonna drive, okay, and you're driving an SUV, of course. Think about how much gas that's going to take.
We're Americans. We have to have big vehicles.
Right?
Thank you. It's called comfort. So
exactly.
Comfort. So now that is a plan. So you have to get all that together and make sure the gas tank is full. And trust me, when I used to travel like that with the kids when they were little, I think one of my kids are on the phone here, my son. We used to make sure we drive. We drove the what is it called? The Chevy Suburban. That's what we drove at the time. They were looking for at that time. But I made sure that before we leave, we fill up our tank, and every stop we make sure we find the tank gas place where it's the least expensive. You notice I didn't say cheap gas. I said least expensive.
Yes. Right. You can't put cheap gas or you'll end up in bigger trouble.
No. So that's exactly what I did. I plan on that. I said, okay, this is what we're going from this point to this point till before we get to this college where they're looking for school. Because usually that's the first three of them. That's what they did. We take them to look at those colleges where they want to go. And then when it's time for them to finally go, we have to help them move all this stuff there. I remember that so well. Oh, talking about Ohio. That's how I went back to Ohio. Taking my daughter back to Ohio. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go Cleveland. Oh yeah. But anyway.
Yes.
So those things I have to plan. But on our first financial education, I learned to be able to have enough so that we don't run out of gas and we don't have any problems on our way to those places. And so that's number 1. Okay.
It's a very simple step. And the way you explained it, everyone should be able to understand, right? You've got to have a plan. And for us, the financial education was so important because we thought we understood how money worked, Cosmas, but our bank account would say differently. Right. And so I don't think that we really appreciated compound interest, what that could do for us, right? How you cannot save your way to retirement. You have to invest your way to retirement. And so all of this we learned in the last 6 years as when we got our wake-up call. So this is wonderful. And so the next step you have is proper protection.
Yes.
This is interesting. Proper protection. What are we talking about here?
Well, thank you for bringing that up. When I say proper protection, people are always like, oh, you're an insurance guy, you this. I'm like, okay. It's funny how you have to have a word for something. One word they use for it, all of a sudden people make a decision based on that one word. Right. It's unfortunate. It's like saying you're a car salesman. That don't mean all the car salesmen are bad, but you got to buy a car, right? Right. Otherwise, you can't walk. So proper protection has to do the most thing you can protect about yourself, about you, is the income that you make. That is your largest. You have to protect that. Okay, if you buy a house and do everything, but the most important thing is your ability to produce financially. You have to protect that. That means you save it and you don't lose it. So it's called insurance. That's the word they use for it. Now, insurance has a lot. It's changed over the years, and we are ahead of it every day. And with what's happening right now in the economy, everything's going up and down, and people are not even sure what they want to do, and they're confused. So that is where we, as financial educators, come in. We are like your partners. Okay, we take you on this walk through detours and through the pit holes. And we don't even, the beauty of it is, I just wanted to let you guys know, most of these companies like Charles Schwab or any of these big companies, they charge you just to sit down with you and help you through those things. We don't. What we do is we sit with you, we go through all those pit holes with you. Now, if you decide you're interested in any of the products that we do have, the company, give you an example, Nationwide, you've heard of Nationwide. Nationwide is number one. Our company is number one for Nationwide products, but we're not Nationwide. However, the reason why we're number one is because Nationwide has helped. We show people how Nationwide's product work, and we can go into detail on that. And Nationwide pays us with the same amount they pay their own people, and that's how they pay us. So it's not coming out of your pocket. Not one penny will come out of your pocket to pay me for the services. I know that. The beauty of it is we're not an 800 number. You make an appointment with us. Guess what? I will be in touch with you at every financial situations in your life, like when you get married or you get divorced or when you guys have a baby or anything. I will be there for you because now you have a partner, a business partner who will kind of be like your coach, financial coach. That's what we do.
I love it.
Thank you.
Insurance.
Yes.
One of the things that Rick and I think, as far as insurance goes, is insurance depends upon where you are, what part of your life you're in, number one. Mm-hmm. And then number two, what is possibly going to happen and what is probably going to happen. Mm-hmm. So what do we mean by that? We do not buy the home warranties. Like you see those advertisements, that's insurance, right? Those home warranties cover your air conditioner and your water heater and all of this stuff that should have a 10 to 20 year life. That's possibly going to happen. Yeah. And when it does, it's possibly going to cost you about $500 or $600. In the meantime, you're spending how much on this insurance? That's crazy. Yeah. However, health insurance, now you're going to get sick. You need to get checkups every year and that you're going to have to go to the doctor every year if you're taking care of yourself. That is, that. So you got to have health insurance. So we say, get insurance for the stuff that is going to happen. You will get old. You will probably need long-term care. Get that long-term care insurance. Get that health insurance. Don't be scammed by those warranties, especially for cell phones. They want you to pay a maintenance fee. Next thing you know, you've bought 2 iPhones just in paying for the insurance. Instead of giving them $15 a month for your warranty / insurance on your phone. Put that $15 a month into a savings account, into a brokerage account, into something else. Save it yourself. And if you need to replace it, you can replace it yourself. You don't need somebody else to save your money for you. You're a big girl.
And that almost brings you into emergency funds.
There we go. So what's step number 3, Rick?
Step number 3 is create an emergency fund.
Okay, I love it. Rick, thank you for bringing that up. This emergencies fund, this is there's a formula that we use in what we do, and we always tell you save minimum of 6 months of savings for emergency. 6 months of how much you make in your family household, put it away for emergency. Give you an example. Okay, we had COVID. We just had COVID. And that stimulus check, what, $1,100? Are you kidding me?
Right.
Most people, their home mortgage is about $1,500–$1,600.
That didn't even cover it.
That didn't even cover your for your house. So we recommend that.
What did you do with your stimulus check?
What did I do with my stimulus check? I saved it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To your point. Exactly. Yes. What's that gonna do, right?
So would you say like 70–80% of the people that received the stimulus check, maybe even more, I'm being kind of conservative, just spent it on stuff? I bet you a lot of people bought 70-inch TVs.
Yes. Oh yeah. I saw it at Costco. I stopped by at Costco a few times. Those things were flying out of Costco like crazy.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Those TVs. Right?
Mm-hmm. And so we have 2 years emergency fund saved.
Wow.
And so, but we did not save 2 years worth of our combined salaries because we don't need that. We don't spend what we make. So we don't need to save 2 years worth of our combined salaries. What we saved was 2 years worth of our expenses.
Oh, I like that.
And there is the difference, guys. There should be a delta, sigma theta, in between what you earn and what you spend. So even when Rick got furloughed, he was furloughed through the whole entire pandemia, whatever we're calling it, because YouTube and the algorithm, and we don't want to say the word. So in any event, so thank God, we never got the Rona, but he was definitely furloughed the whole time, and we never missed a beat. Was any bill ever late? Wow. And we went on vacation while he was furloughed. We went to Cancun while he was furloughed, right? Because we were spending so much less than we were making. Yes. And so when one of the salaries disappeared, we were good. So so you're saying 6 months worth of emergency fund, and that's pretty standard.
Minimum, yes, minimum. We recommend minimum. And then, like you said, and not only that, every month as you save, and you find out that as long as you start saving, it becomes more fun. It's like muscle. When you work out, it's like working out. Right. When you use those muscles and extend them, you keep finding it's more fun. And guess what? You are happier. You're more relaxed. You're not stressed anymore, because money is a major cause of stress in the world today. And they say it's cancer or any of the diseases. Yeah, stress causes those problems, but it all boils down to money. If you don't have enough of it, you're always stressed. In my household, when I was growing up, my dad was the worker. My mom was back in Africa. She took care of all of us, all eight of us. Wow. And so, yes, 8 of us. Mom and dad were, but I've heard them a couple of times when they had a little issues where they won't let the kids know. That's how they operate. They don't want the kids to know what's happening. But one thing I found out was like stress was mainly about money. And I can imagine that time. It was all about money. And so, but as I grew up and have my own family, that's the one thing that I always pray for as growing up, that I didn't have to go through. Because if you don't have enough, it's there.
It can be stressful, right?
It is stressful. It is stressful.
So shameless plug. Today starts Beyond the Bling, our money mindset makeover program. There's still 2 spots left, but the pre-work has already started, and we start today at 5 o'clock. I think 5 o'clock Mountain Time, so 4 o'clock our time. Mountain Time, yeah. And so they have already started doing the pre-work. And one of the things that we talk about, Cosmas, not only the emergency fund and arguing, but this program is for couples or an accountability couple. It doesn't have to be a married couple, because one of the things that you just brought this up is the arguing about money. And what we found is couples tend to argue about money when they're not on the same page and they have not made sure that their values are aligned.
Yes.
If they're so once Rick and I decided that we wanted to retire ASAP, we it's funny because we have a thing that we say, if we're going to spend over $100, we check in with each other. That's how our relationship started, and we've been doing that ever since.
Yeah.
And but we haven't had to have those calls because we're not trying to spend money on ridiculous stuff anymore. Right? Like some of the things that we used to buy were all about keeping up with the Joneses. And I can admit that now. If you would have asked me at the time, I would have said no.
That's true.
They're keeping up with me.
Right. So guys, drop your questions in the chat. We can see you. Barbara, yes, there will be a replay, and this will be on YouTube. If you're watching the replay, you can ask questions. YouTube will let us know, and we can answer those questions when you ask them. So definitely like, subscribe, ask questions, even if you're watching in the replay. So yeah, and if they can't save, I don't want folks to get discouraged. So getting back to the emergency fund, 6 months emergency fund minimum is the goal. But if you don't have anything saved, start with $1,000. Let that be your first goal. Save that first $1,000, because statistics say that the average American is about $400 away from a disaster. So if they had a $400 emergency, say your brakes went out or something like that, the average American would not have the $400 cash to be able to handle that. And so let's start with that first $1,000 and then work your way up to the 6 months. What do you think about that, Cosmas?
You nailed it on the head. You nailed it on the head, because you have to start that what do I call baby steps. You have to start somewhere. And actually, it's like going to the gym. I watch people every day come to the gym, and on what you call a resolution day, they call it. I watch them come in, and they want to go start lifting the dumbbell, so they call it. And I'm like, you can't do that in your first try. First thing you want to do, come in and just check out all the stuff that are there. Don't even do anything. Check it out and then leave. Then tomorrow, come back and start lifting little by little. So that's exactly how it works in finance. That's how it works in relationship. You just don't go into it and boom, there you go. Because you are in for disaster. And when that happens, you're so ashamed to tell anyone, because you don't even want to know people. Oh, I came to the gym. Yeah, I came for what? So I think that's the whole idea of, like how Lisa said, being able to start, but start from the very, very small, minute, ridiculously minute steps. That's people.
So Cosmas,
yes.
Do you agree that most people out there, they want instant gratification? So when we speak about taking the small steps and starting that emergency fund, and just starting with a certain amount of money out of each paycheck. In other words, we call paying yourself to save and to invest. People want instant gratification. It's like no one's going to sit there and write you a $500,000 check to start your emergency fund. It's up to you to do that. And you can't justify not doing it by saying, I just don't have it. Because when you actually stop and look at all that extra money that you're spending on stuff that you really don't need or want, but you want instant gratification. So I got to buy a new pair of shoes. Let's go in and get that car because it's going to make us feel good, because we work hard for everything that we do.
Bling, bling, baby.
Bling, bling. And then all of a sudden, 60 years old rolls up on you.
Right? and the gray is showing, and you're like, the bling bling is not blinging anymore. Now, okay, so we acknowledge that there are folks out there who make minimum wage, close to minimum wage, and if you live in LA, it's hard to make ends meet. So here's the challenge. We challenge you to find 1%. 1%. If you take home $400 a week, $4, put $4 into your savings account, put $4 into your brokerage account. Start with 1%. Okay. And every payday or every week or every month, increase it by 1%. If you increase your savings rate by 1% every month, at the end of the year, you will be saving 12% of your take-home pay. 12% of your take-home pay, guys. It can be done. And that $4 you won't miss. And then that $8 you won't miss, right? That's how you can start from zero and build that wealth. We acknowledge that everyone is not making 60, 70, 80,000. We never made six figures. We never made six figures. And we understand that everybody is not even making half of that. But whatever you got, 1%, you can do that. You can do that. Let's say hello to some folks right quick. And so Cosmas, who is this?
That's my son.
Hi, son. We see the same last name. Hello there. And Rick's best friend is on. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Ron. How you doing?
Barbara, we hope that you're still watching. If you're not, we will see you in the replay.
Yes.
We will definitely see you in the replay. So yes. I know we've got more folks than that watching because we can see that there are more folks than that watching. So please let us know where you're logging in from. We're in Los Angeles, and in 2.5 weeks, we will be in Europe. If you're watching us for the first time, then you probably don't know where we're going to go. Tune in next week or watch another video. I'm not going to tell you.
Halisi, you and Rick are in the cosmos. That's all you are. You're in the cosmos.
That's right. Cosmos, we are in the cosmos.
We want to bring as many people as possible with us.
Right.
That's right.
If you're saying, it must be nice.
It is nice.
It is nice.
It truly is nice, but it's nothing that no one else can do.
Right. We want you to do it too. We're not here to show off. We're not here to brag. We're here to educate and teach you how you can do it too. We believe that every Black family needs to be building generational wealth.
Yes.
We have to stop starting from zero, right? With every generation starting from zero. And so we are making retirement and early retirement accessible for Black families. And that's what we're talking about today.
Yes.
And we've got somebody logging in from Oaktown.
Hey, Nicole. North Carolina, Nicole and David.
I love it.
Nicole.
Yes.
Miss you guys.
I know. Nicole and David. So I'm gonna spill the beans. Nicole and David, they are very good friends of ours. And they were in our brain when we conceived of this channel. Nicole is one, David too, but Nicole is one of the hardest working women that I know. She is super mom. She is super grandmom. And she's like chief executive something or other for some big organization down in North Carolina.
She's the boss.
She's the boss. Baby girl, you are working too hard. You are working too hard.
Come to Europe with us.
Yes, yes, yes. We love you and we do not want to see you working that hard. They are just all that Black brilliance. We can be teaching other people how to do that.
Wow. Yes.
Because David, those gator shoes are still waiting for you.
Them gators.
Florence Italy.
So when we were in Florence, Cosmos, Nicole and David were on a shoe shopping trip. Okay.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to tell you, you can buy shoes in Europe really inexpensively. And my favorite shoe, like under $50, you can get very, very good leather shoes. Right.
Wow.
And yeah, and if your weight goes up and down like me, they always fit. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about it. But David Porty wanted these alligator shoes.
Gator.
Okay.
Those alligator shoes were pretty.
Well, they were green.
Yes.
I can't remember if they were green, but they were pretty.
But David's the shop too.
He's a sharp dude. Here's the thing, though. You can afford anything that you want.
Oh, wow.
But you cannot afford everything.
Yes.
And so if you want the gators, that's something else you have to give up, right? There's an opportunity cost to everything. And so if you watched our video two weeks ago when we were talking to Nika and Tracy, who can hear us just fine.
Hi, Nika and Tracy.
Hey, Nika and Tracy. We talked about and showed a calculator on how the cost of things cost you freedom in time.
Yes.
In time, right? And so their car and their car insurance and their car payment, car insurance, and gas were costing them about 6 months of their freedom every month.
But we don't look at it like that. People don't look at stuff like that.
Right? Like, how many months of freedom is a new iPhone costing me? Or can I just use this until it wears out? Right? Right? So getting back to that emergency fund, if you find yourself, having to think about a new iPhone or that emergency fund, the answer is emergency fund.
Yep.
If your phone's still working,
that's
emergency fund. I mean, we understand this is a utility, right?
Yes.
But if it's still working,
yes,
emergency fund.
Yes.
Funny thing, Halisi and Rick, my daughter Chinaka just came on. She just came on. She's my. She just got back from Cleveland to go spend time with her sister, who just had her third grandbaby. So she just got back. Yeah, she just got back from Cleveland. She lives in Dallas. That's Chinaka.
I love it. All right.
Hi, Chinaka.
So you can do well in Dallas. The cost of living is still pretty good in Dallas in comparison to some of the other major cities. So once we have our emergency fund, Cosmas, the next step, this is step number 4. So I'm going to go over all the steps again for those who are late. The first step, financial education. The second step, get proper protection. Make sure you have insurance for the things that 100% are going to happen, like going to the doctor. You need your health insurance. Number 3, set up an emergency fund. Rick and I have 2 years worth of expenses saved. Cosmas suggests 6 months minimum. However, if you're starting from zero, let's get that first $1,000 saved and then work on the 6 months. Now, step number 4, debt management. Debt management. So Rick and I don't have any debt.
I like that.
Oh, wow.
I take that back. We don't have any unsecured debt. So we do have our mortgages.
Oh, we have.
Yes.
But we have no credit card debt.
That's great.
Cars are paid off. What else is there?
Wow.
I don't know. We don't have debt. And if you don't have debt, then those expenses, you're saving us 2 years worth of expenses. Those go down a lot when all you have to worry about are the big 4, right? Housing, transportation, food, and healthcare. If that's all you have to worry about, then that 6 months worth of emergency funds gets a lot easier to save for.
And I mean, what about the $300 bill that we used to have to pay for education?
Oh, wow.
Right. Okay. Debt management. So we're going to let Cosmas talk about debt management. Then we'll tell our wonderful manifestation, because all blessings come to us and we live in abundance story.
Yes.
All right. Tell us about debt management, Cosmas.
Wow. Well, I have to put a word on that. When you expect something else, I want everyone who's here to know is anytime you expect something, you're open to it, it will come your way.
It does.
And that means good or bad. I hate to say, but it's true.
But God is good.
So when you were talking about abundance, anytime I open my hand in the morning and I'm meditating or praying, I always pray for abundance for everyone I meet. And it's funny thing, every time I do it that way, I see them. They're all over the place. So when you talk about applying debt management, which is number 4, what does that mean? There is a few things that people have and they owe. Like, let's say a good example, I'm using me as an example. I got my car. My kids know it. I have my car. I parked my car in front of a church on February 1st. Went into the church, and by the time I came out, my car was smashed total. And this happened on Monaco. Halisa, you guys know where it is. That
Yes.
yeah, right in front, right there, that in front of that church there. I've been parking there for 10 years every time I go in there. I've never had any problem. But that day, some guy just plumbed through the place and smashed my car to pieces. Now, talking about when we talk about finances, long story short, I got me another vehicle. That vehicle that I got, actually, it won't cost me that much. It's probably about $10,000. But right away, I didn't want to have any car payments because I used to sell cars. And believe it or not, you don't cars do not appreciate. They depreciate big times. So what I did was I made sure that I put down half of the amount right away. Okay, and I wanted to feel what it feels like making car loans, making car payments. For me, it was like
it's a new thing.
It's so hilarious because I've never done it for so many years. So, but long story short, don't let that stop you. Get it paid off quick and get it out of the way, because the way your interest rate alone, the rule of 72 in the book, the rule of 72, if anyone doesn't know about rule of 72, look it up. It's in this book.
Yes.
Okay. The rule of 72 alone will rob you of every money you have. And you don't need that. You won't be able to travel with this couple here, this cute couple here, travel everywhere. But you won't be able to do that if you are not able to watch where you spend your money.
That's so true.
So that's an example for you.
And when some of you guys know this story, 4 or 5 years ago, Rick was in a car accident. Well, he was just sitting there. This other person was coming in the opposite direction.
No, I was driving and he was driving.
Oh, I thought you were sitting there.
Really?
I was driving.
Oh, okay. And so opposite directions on Monica. No.
Quebec.
On Quebec.
Quebec, okay. Which is direct.
Right. This guy was going way too fast, texting and doing whatever he was doing.
God.
Came over to the other side of the road. Rick had already kind of moved up on the sidewalk, saw it coming.
Yeah.
He still totaled our Pathfinder.
What?
He hit the car so hard that the keys flew out of the ignition and were
really?
on the passenger side.
Oh my God.
Rick's head hit something and he passed out. The ambulance had to come, etc. Now, we had no car. Once Rick was out of the hospital, a couple of hours later, thank God, no internal injuries or anything.
Wow.
Just some abrasions and stuff.
I got a hard head, so.
Me too.
But now we have to buy now he needs a car to get to work.
Yes.
And the insurance has to fight, right? Like they're gonna do their thing.
Yeah, me too. I went through that.
Right. You got to have car insurance. And you got to get the good car insurance. So they're going to do their thing. But meanwhile, we need a car.
Yes.
Do you have that down payment for the car until you get reimbursed?
Yeah, because it takes time to get the money.
It took us almost a year to get the money.
It's crazy. Yep, that's what I went through.
Right. And so we had to come up with that $5,000 down
to
put on his newer car.
Yeah, newer
because we don't buy new cars on his newer car.
That's what I did
until we could get reimbursed. And so once again, not having to do credit cards, not having to panic, not having to call family members and ask to borrow money because we had the money sitting there. We had saved, we had done a couple of things the right way. And because we eliminated debt, we had some savings and we didn't have to get into debt to get you into that, at least for the down payment for the car. Because we did take out a loan for the car.
But also what we did too, and you can do it in anything that you do, but you have to stand true to yourself, is we borrowed it. We borrowed the down payment from ourselves.
From yourself, yes.
Yes. So we borrowed the down payment from ourselves, making sure we paid ourselves back that down payment, just like any other business transaction. And sometimes you have to do it. A lot of people get caught up and say, oh, well, it's just my savings. I'll save up sometime. No, we made it a point, just like it was another bill.
Yes.
Paid that back until it was paid off.
Yes.
Then, we invested it and did other things that we needed to do. But, treat yourself as a business too. You always have to pay yourself first. Right. You're the first person that should be paid when you get paid from your employer.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. I just used a retirement calculator to figure out how much I'd have at 60. It was my reminder to do more to have the number I want. I have 5 years to increase that number, and baby girl, you can do it.
You can definitely.
You can do it.
Yes.
You can do it, because if we did it in 3 years, you definitely can do it in 5 years.
Yes.
But you got, you can't be afraid to look at that number, right? You can't be afraid to look at the number and just see where you're at. For me, the not knowing is more nerve-wracking than the knowing. Because if I know, then I can come up with a plan. But if I don't know, then I don't know. I don't work well with not knowing. I gotta know what's going on. Okay. So we're gonna go over the 4 steps again, and then we're gonna go to step number 5. Step number 1, financial education. Step number 2, get the proper protection. Make sure you have insurance for the things you know are gonna happen. Step number 3, emergency fund. Have your expenses saved up at least 6 months. Rick and I have 2 years worth of expenses saved up. Number 4, debt management. Get rid of your debt. Debt is bad.
Yep.
Unsecured consumer debt with high interest rates, those are short-term loans. You're paying anywhere from 16% interest to 25% interest for a short-term loan. Now, if a banker came to you to loan you money for a house at 16% interest, would you accept that? No, you would not. So why are you accepting it for that Gucci bag or for them Gators? Why are you accepting that 16 to 25% interest? Use your credit cards for points and for the cashback stuff. Pay them off at the end of the month. So how are we going? How did we get here? We got here for free, Cosmas, on Miles, because we use our credit cards as tools. So we use our Southwest Miles. We do some grocery shopping with our Southwest card. We pay it off every month. We build up those points and those miles. And grocery stores, I think, are 2 times 2 for some of the credit cards. And we flew here on Miles. We're flying to Europe on Miles.
That's beautiful.
Right? So when you talk about an abundance mindset, right? Abundance does not have to look like a $500,000 check. Abundance looks like 500,000 miles that are going to get me to where I want to go. So what did we find out today? We got an email yesterday talking about debt. Thank you for reminding me. Talking about debt and just expecting the best, right? I got an email from my student loan folks to say that our new loan payment for my graduate work student loan will be
$0.
What?
$0, guys. $0, because we went on the income-based repayment plan. We're retired. Our income is 0.
0. Yes, that's how it is.
That's how it is when you have government student loans, not those private ones, but government student loans. And so we're off, baby. We are off. All right. So
that's right.
And, the quote of the day: whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're absolutely right.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So what is step number 5?
Cash flow. Tell us about cash flow, Cosmas.
Yeah, that sounds sexy and groovy. Cash flow. Oh my God.
Let that cash flow.
It just flows, Well. Cash flow is the money you have available to spend or to save. After you have established all these first 4 steps, now you have that cash flow coming. Now, don't forget though, cash flow has its own. It's so easy for us to get drifted away when I talk of cash flow. When they always say you have to have some cash flow, because growing up back in Africa, my grandpa used to say me something: before you leave your house, make sure you have some money in your pocket in case on your way you run over somebody or you bump into somebody selling stuff by the side of the road and you spill all their food on the ground. You want to be able to have enough money to say, "Oh, I'm sorry I spilled your stuff. There's the 20 naira or 30 naira to pay." My grandpa told us that millions of years ago, it seems like, but it's so true today. That's the power of cash flow. When you have cash flow, even if you're poor, because poverty is a mentality thing. Oh, I'm poor. What does that mean? When you have that money in your pocket and people see you, you're able to give them that money, not not a credit card. I say you should. I still tell people cash is king. You know, I don't know what you guys think, but to me, having that green bills in my pocket is powerful. So you always have some cash with you to be able to help you get through detour you through those obstacles in life. And that's the power of having that cash flow. Okay. So a lot of people.
I got to pause you because your grandfather said
Yes.
something
Yes.
that was so un-American.
Yes.
And so lovely.
Yes.
He said, make sure. So my grandfather said, make sure you have cash in your pocket too, but for different reasons. And I'll get into that.
Yes.
Your father said, make sure you have cash in your pocket.
Yes.
So you can help someone else.
Yes. Exactly.
Folks, money is not the root of all evil.
Yeah.
It only amplifies who you are.
Exactly.
His grandfather obviously was a generous, lovely, compassionate, good person.
Yes.
And so what does money do? Money amplifies that. What did he say to do with your money? Make sure you have money so you can help out somebody else. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it because it speaks from abundance. It doesn't, you know, people who think that there's lack, in the world and a zero-sum game. If you win, I lose. They say, make sure you have money in your pocket and keep it clenched so you can do what you want to do and blah, 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 blah. And because there's only so much and you're only going to get so much, right?
Yes.
As opposed to it flows. There is enough for everyone.
Yep.
And I'm going to keep money in my pocket so that I'm always able to help someone else.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yes.
Now, my grandfather said, you need to have if you ain't got at least $100 in your pocket, you ain't got no money. Now, my grandfather did not tell me to keep money in my pocket so that I could help others. He said, keep money in your pocket to get yourself out of trouble because that was his world, being a Black man in the South in America. Make sure you always have cash in your pocket because you might need to get yourself out of trouble. Isn't that sad? I like your grandfather's reasoning so much better.
Thank you. Well, it's a different perspective. You know, it's funny you brought this up. I tell my kids, and the two of them are on the line now, I tell them the story about the river Nile and the Dead Sea. Okay? The story about the River Nile and Dead Sea is, if you notice the Dead Sea, why is it a Dead Sea? And why is River Nile the River Nile? The Dead Sea, for one thing, does not have, it takes in, but it never gives out.
Never gives out.
Yes. But the River Nile has tributaries, so it's always flowing, it's taking in and giving out. That's what we should be. We should be the River Nile because we flow in and we take and we give.
Yes.
It's gracious to give and take. Okay.
And we've got African synonyms.
Yes.
I love it. You know I love it. You know I was raised by Sister Soldier and Malcolm X. Come on now. I love it.
Thank you. We have to give, and as we take, and you know, it's funny to think about it. The wealthiest people, you know, we used to say, oh, rich people are no good. Yeah, it depends on who's rich. If a bad person is rich, he's a bad rich person.
Exactly.
But if a good person is rich, like this couple here, they give everything to you and I. Hello. So it all depends on who it is rich. Wealth can be used well if it's in the good hands and used badly if it's in bad hands. That's exactly my point about it. And so, so How Money Works book has been incredible for me. And I pray that every one of you that gets the handle of it and commonsensical stuff we can do and help one another. You know,
and like you said, the book itself, it's not a long read. It's an easy, quick read with illustrations and stuff, and it's very simple to understand. Yes. So if you don't know or have any idea how to get started in different things, that book will help you understand it a whole lot easier than a big old thick Tony Robbins. Nothing against Tony Robbins.
I do.
You know, you know, a big old manual that's going to bore you and make you fall asleep as you're reading it. I mean, you know.
I have Tony Robbins here.
He's looking for the book.
I'm looking for it. It's here in my book. Tony Robbins.
I want to add on to the cash flow thing.
Yes.
So when we're talking about cash flow, And we brought up the fact that some folks are still making minimum wage, right? And so the thing about cash flow, obviously, if things are just meeting, you have to increase. People say it's always about what you spend. It's not just about what you spend. It's also about what you make. Obviously, if you're only making $30,000 a year, there's only so many choices you have. If you make $60,000 or $120,000 a year, then obviously you have more choices. And especially if you're making $120,000 a year and living off of $30,000 a year, now we're cooking with Crisco. So when we're talking about cash flow, you want, if your current job is just making ends meet, find another job. Find another job. There is a labor shortage right now.
Exactly.
Find another job that appreciates you and that will pay you more. And then come up with a side hustle so you can increase that. And 100% of the money from your side hustle can go into your savings, can go into your investment accounts, and you can speed up that time to retirement. We know folks who have done it in 5 to 8 to 10 years, gone from a traditional little savings account with maybe $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 in it to over $1 million in less than a decade. It can be done, guys. It can be done. It can be done. But you've got to increase that cash flow in order to be able to save more and to invest more.
Yes. Thank you. You know, you brought that up.
Because that leads us into number 6, step 6.
Yes. Number 6. Number 6, building wealth. Okay. So when you, as you all know, we are in what we call a gig economy. Why is it called a gig? It is a gig economy. We're all in this together. So like Halisa said, get something, and actually owning your own business is a secret behind it, because you are no longer a W-2, you're a 1099. You get a lot of tax write-offs. Believe it or not, have your own business, secret.
Yes.
Now, building wealth. Do you realize that 63% of people have a greater fear of running out of money than dying? 63% of people are more afraid of dying, more afraid of running out of money than dying. Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
It is so true. So imagine you having your last $1,000 and like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm going to move into my kids' basements for $1,000 or whatever. So you don't even want to have that thought, because the only way you do this is by building that wealth, so that when you retire or you're having fun, like Rick and Halisia now, they know they have enough to relax and don't have to worry about no stress. So that is part of what we do here. So how do you do that building of your wealth? Everything we've talked about so far, up to the 6 milestones, it's about discipline. It's like everything else you do in life. If you don't have discipline, and you do it today and tomorrow you don't do it, then it won't work. You have to be disciplined, whereby you do it consistently. You have to be consistent. It's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym once a year, like, okay, you'll see the result. But if you go like once a week or twice a week or once a day, like some crazy people like I do, you'll see the difference. Okay.
Yes.
But I don't ask like Halisi and her husband and Rick doing financially here. They've saved. It didn't start today. Rick, how long have you guys been doing this? Rick and Halisi, how long?
So interestingly, thankfully, our first 401k was from back in 2002, and we never touched it, and we rolled it over and to an IRA and started to add to it. So we did do that thing right. Now, here's something interesting, guys. I told Rick in 2017 to start a 401k. What did you say to me?
Too late.
He said it was too late.
I said it was too late for where I was working at the time. It's too late.
How much did that 401k get up to between 2017 and 2022?
42,000.
$42,000.
Yes, that's exactly.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Right.
Start today if you have to.
Right now.
It is never too late. So build wealth. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to max out your 401k or your company equivalent. If you are a W-2 employee, if you work for the government, they do have an equivalent. I don't know what it's called, but you do.
Yes.
or Google it. So
Yeah.
you're going to max out that 401k up to where they will match you.
It's free money.
Okay, because
Free
that's
money.
free money,
Mhm.
right? And then you're going to turn around and you're going to max out your IRA. For people under 50, that's $6,000. For people over 50, that's $7,000 per year per person. So for us, that's $14,000 in a separate IRA.
Mhm.
Once you have done that, if there's still money left over, you're going to come back to your 401k. Why do you say? Because this is money that can grow without you having to pay taxes on it right now.
Exactly.
Okay. So the limit for your 401k is $22,000. If you are closer to retirement age, if you're over 50, we suggest then not going to that $22,000 for your 401k, but maybe a brokerage account so you can access that money without penalties faster.
Exactly.
But have a plan, right? Do your research. Again,
Right.
Financial educators, not financial advisors. Please have a plan and do your research. But those are the limits. So $22,000 for your 401k. It depends on what you are trying to achieve. For us, it didn't make sense to put that much money into our 401k because of our age. And in 2 years, we can access all of it. Well, I can access all of it. He can access all of it now. I can access all of it in 2.5 years or so without penalty. Yes. So do we really need that much in our 401k growing, or could we put it in a brokerage account, which usually has more options on what you can invest in?
Yes.
If you do Fidelity or Schwab or Vanguard or something like that,
right?
They basically the whole market is open to you, right? The NASDAQ, the NYSE, everything is open to you. Whereas some company plans have very little. And again, we like to diversify, and so Rick and I have the majority of our money invested in index funds, total market index funds, or S&P 500 index funds that mimic that index or mimic the total market. And so that's where about 90% of our money.
And that's a lesson within itself.
That's a lesson within
There's
itself.
a whole lot to it when you talk about investing your money.
There is.
But for those,
but for those who are in Beyond the Bling, they will get all of that and a bag of chips. So that's how you build wealth.
But like Cosmas said, we're in a gig economy.
Yes.
So getting back to building wealth and different things like that, it's, creating something, side hustles. You don't have to work for somebody if you don't want to. If you have creative thoughts on doing different things, you can save up enough money to start your own business instead of trying to go outside and borrow money to start your own business.
Yes.
There's all kind of things. People, the internet and everything else, you can do a whole lot more today than we couldn't do back in the day. Because you have a platform called the internet that hits the world. The whole world sees it. So if you have ideas, great ideas, businesses start from ideas and drive from the person that's thinking about it. And as long as you have free advertisement out there now, everybody tunes into the internet.
Right. That's right. And so Cosmas, hi, Karen. I saw you on Stephanie Perry. and we're in LA too. So let's meet up. DM us either on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So good to see you. Good to see you. She's so pretty.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
It's funny. I tell this joke all the time. It's the word procrastination. See the word procrastination, everyone. I used to tell people I am the president of the nation called procrastination. I used to be the president, but no longer I exiled from that nation. See, because the procrastination is a killer of everything that we plan to do in our lives. Everything.
Yes.
So if you don't know how to start, just start wherever you are. And it doesn't matter how small.
That's right.
Like
go ahead. No.
So go on. I'm sorry.
We're having fun here.
Cosmas, and then Rick.
I love it. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is when I became part of this, what I do right now, I was told myself, how are you going to do this? What do you mean you're going to do this? How can you? But I found out it was very easy. It's just a matter of making a decision to be part of it. And just to let everyone that is on this program know, any one of you listening that would like to get more information on how to be part of what I do, we'll coach you, we'll train you, we'll bring you up to it, and you'll be glad you did, because now you're going to be saving lives and helping families. Because as the Black family, we've gone through a lot during this COVID, or whatever you call it, time. We went through a lot. And if we cannot get ourselves out now, out of our bootstraps, like they say, I don't know when we're going to do it. So this is the opportunity for everyone. So that's what I wanted to say.
And I put the link. The link is on screen, and the link will be in the description for those who are watching in the replay.
Yes.
But Rick, what did you want to say?
So I wanted to say something that I read it in the book that actually I had to write it down because I really like what it said. And it's you working for your money. The number of hours you can work in a day limits how much you can earn. Okay. And then the other thing is your money working for you. And there's no limit on how much you can earn because your money grows independently from your personal efforts.
Exactly.
So while we sleep, if the stock market is going up,
and it will,
then we are making money while we sleep. Right now it's going down, which means it's on sale.
Yeah.
When the Gucci bag is on sale, do you rush to Macy's to go get it? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
you
those
do.
pair of shoes are on sale, you rush to get them.
But when Apple stock is on sale,
Yeah.
oh no, I don't want it. I'm going to wait until it goes back up and then I'll buy it. That makes
That's-
no sense, people. The market
Yes.
is on sale. That
That's
means
best.
your dollar can buy you more Apple stock. Apple
Exactly.
stock is Apple stock.
Yep.
Stock in an index fund is stock in an index fund, right?
Yep.
One share is one share. And when when that $1 share is then worth $100,
What is Amazon?
There you
Amazon
go.
was $3,000.
$3,000 a share. Yeah. I think we own a share. So, right. But yeah, so that's how you build wealth. 1%. And the other thing you said, you talked about discipline, Cosmas, and then we're going to get to the last step.
Yes.
Please, if you guys have any questions, please do not leave here
Yes.
not understanding how you build wealth starting from zero. Please do
Yes.
not leave here not knowing. Ask your questions, put them in the chat, and we will put them on screen. So one of the things that we did, Cosmas, is that we have everything on autopilot. So we have money that goes directly into our brokerage accounts and automatically gets invested into those index funds. Our money in our 401k is automatic. When we were still W-2 employees, we had a portion of our money from our paycheck go directly into our savings account. We never even saw it. So we didn't have to worry about being disciplined, because I don't know if you're like us, I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to itemize all that stuff. I'm not doing it. That just sounds like work. I don't want to do it.
Definitely not doing
So emotional too.
I don't want to do it. So what I'm going to make sure that we do is I'm going to take if we say we're going to save $1,000 a month, then that $1,000 a month is going to automatically go right into our accounts, our savings, our brokerage accounts, our 401k or whatever. And then whatever's left is what's left.
That's right.
Okay. And that way, and then I'm going to increase that by 1% every single month. That way I never have to worry about being disciplined, because I can't even touch the money. And if I want to move it from my savings account, now I got to think about it. I got to say,
you got to put some effort.
You got to put some effort to move that money to the checking account, right? Or take it from the brokerage account and move it back to the bank. So if you put that stuff on automatic pilot, you don't have to worry about getting those weak feelings. Oh, but I just want
temptation.
I just want, and it's on sale. I just want. Right?
Temptation.
That's true.
Right?
It's called temptation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we ain't talking about the group.
We're not talking about the group, right?
Some people don't even know there's a group like that.
I know.
We're telling our ages. We're telling our ages.
Temptation.
So we've built wealth. We've built the wealth.
Yes.
The one thing that the book does not say that Rick and I talk about is building generational wealth, which means that you never stop growing your wealth. You never stop growing your wealth, because you're building it for the next generation and the next generation after that and the next generation after that. No longer will our kids have to start from zero.
But can I add?
Yes.
You can't just grow generational wealth without teaching or educating, which we get all the way back to
step
financial.
one.
Step one, financial education.
Yes.
Because you can't you can't give a baby a car.
Mm-mm.
You can't give somebody that's never driven a car and say, okay, here you go and do what you want to do.
Disaster.
So they have to be taught. You
Yes.
have to teach
Yes.
the family members or whomever you're leaving the wealth to how to maintain and how to keep it going for the next generation.
Yes.
Which a lot of times our parents did not do because they weren't even financially literate themselves.
Exactly.
Right?
They didn't know.
And so for those of us who've been following us, you know that we started a family finance call once a month with our nieces, nephews, our kids, a couple of our grandkids who are old enough. Yes, we do have grandkids over 18.
Yeah.
They participate, as well as some of our mentees that are our adopted babies that are in our lives. And so we have this family finance call once a month, and we started it last year so that when we hand over, when we're no longer here and we hand this big thing over to our kids and grandkids, they understand how to protect it and build on it. So let's go to step 7, protection of the wealth.
Yes. Oh yes. I love that. That's I call the gift. That's the gift wrap. The protection is the gift wrap. Wrap it up. So you guys the word probate is a bad word. Nobody wants to go through probate. I knew people before I got into business that went through probate. Actually, I know a guy who he didn't finish his paperwork on his living trust, and he went through he passed away. He was sick and died. His wife actually up till the last week or so is still going through paperwork and all that. And I don't wish that on anyone.
No.
And I don't wish that on anyone. The reason why I'm saying this is this. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, we didn't know. We keep putting it away. Yeah, you're not supposed to. That's what procrastination does. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Like I had that accident. If I hadn't started my paperwork and I had the accident, what if? What if I was gone? What if? And my kids already, we talked about that. I'm like, don't wait anymore. Get it done. Yes. So in this book, it says the number one reason Americans give for not having a will is that they just didn't get around to do it. They didn't get around to do it. That means they procrastinate. Oh, I have so much going on in my life. I don't have time. That is the main reason why you should get it done. Get it done right away. Don't say, oh, I didn't have time to get around it. Like everything else in life. Yes. I didn't have time. Oh, I'm busy. Busy doing what?
Nobody wants to think about it. They don't want to think about that coming.
You know what's so funny, Cosmas, is like what we are talking about is we are talking about a financial pathway so that you don't have to be so busy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're too busy to learn how to not be busy.
Exactly. It's an oxymoron. That's exactly the point.
You're too busy to learn how not to be busy because we want to give you your time back. We want you to have financial freedom. We want you to have financial freedom. So take the time. Rick and I do have our revocable trust in place. We have our powers of attorney in place. We have our wills in place so that everything that we're building will smoothly be. They're in a trust. Yes. They're in a trust. So the trust, we don't own anything. The trust owns everything, and the kids are beneficiaries of that trust. And so that's how we did things. Here's something that a lot of folks may not know. If you work for a large corporation, there's a good chance you can get legal services for nearly free. Yeah. Check your benefits. We found out for like $3 a month, we got legal services through our company. And we used those legal services to create our trust, our will, and everything. He delivered it to our house with his mask on and was a notary and did the whole thing. Yeah. And so, yes.
Stop and think about that, really.
Check your benefits, read your employee manual. Yeah. You might have access to those legal.
Good.
it's a not legal aid, but it's almost
kind of
it's like a
legal aid.
club. It's
It's
like
like a
club.
legacy, legacy stuff.
Yeah, and and some
Wow.
employees offer that. It's like you pay $4 or $5 a month out of your
Yes.
paycheck, or less than that, actually.
Yes.
I think it was like $2.
And sign up for it for the year. It's worth it. A lot of people look at it and say, "Well, I won't need an attorney. I don't need an attorney for." Well, but they cover a lot of things. They do
All the
cover a
estate
lot of
planning.
things. Only thing that they won't let you do is sue them.
Right. So
But,
right,
yeah.
they're not gonna pay to sue. Yeah. So you can't use your company's services to sue the company.
Mm.
That's kind of
Wow.
funny, sweetheart. That's kind of funny that you.
Well,
would
no,
bring that up.
no. You could sue the company. You can't sue the law firm.
Oh, the law firm.
Yes,
Okay.
you can sue law firm.
Okay.
You
Okay,
can-
that's
You can sue
interesting.
the company.
Yeah, you can
But-
sue.
Yeah, but
but
yeah, check
People
out the
never
benefits.
take advantage of it because
That's true.
They
There
don't
is
know.
ignorance.
exactly. And people look at things and it's like,
Mhm.
well, it's not the attorney walking through the door that I have to go to his office and pay $500 an hour.
Mhm.
It's attorneys, period.
Mhm.
It's attorneys, and it's big law firms that are involved in this.
Yes.
And just because you're paying a small amount of money every month,
Mhm.
if you use them or you don't use them, you get a lot of services from them. So
Mhm.
if your employer offers that, get involved.
Well-
It's worth it.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
truly is worth it.
And then check out all of the other benefits that your employer offers,
Yeah.
because you might find that you are missing out on some things that you could be taking advantage
Yes.
of.
Wow.
Like, right? And so you just never know. Someone else told us that, and we checked it out, and lo and behold, there it was.
Mm.
One of the benefits that we could have chosen all along. And so we want to make sure that we pass on that information to you so that you
Wow.
can protect your wealth.
Well, also to add to that, we have a product called Net Law, N-E-T, Net Law.
So
It's Net Law only for $600, one-time pay. Everything is, you do everything online, okay?
Mhm.
You fill it out online, and we have the lawyers. They're one of the best lawyers in the country that are going through everything with you.
and they review it.
And they review it, and we have what we'll call, you can add to it because everything is on the cloud. You have a cloud closet, I call it, whereby everything is saved and you can pull it out every year. The only difference, every year you pay $8 a year.
To update it.
$8 a year to update it. That's all. But
So
$600.
if $600, that's
One
that's 2 hours of an attorney's time, right?
Yes, one
So
time.
if you don't have this benefit through your employer,
Yep.
this is a great service.
For yourself, it's called Net Law. And anyone that has questions or need to give me a call on my check with me on my Zoom link, we'll get more information for you. And it's amazing. It's changing lives every day. So yeah, we got all the information.
Right? Check out your employee benefits. Nubia Net says, I found out sick leave can go towards years of service.
Mm-hmm.
So now so if and years of service, I'm guessing that you're talking about years of service vis-a-vis retirement and qualifying for retirement
Right.
at your position. So, the HR folks are not lining up to tell you all of this stuff. They're just not. They put it in the manual. They put it in the manual. They want you to read it. And they do not want Nubia Net to leave the job any earlier than they want her to leave the job. So now that she knows she can apply her sick leave towards years of service, and I'm assuming get that retirement pension, they're not lining up to tell you that. So take the time definitely to read your employee manual. What I have dropped online is our Ready to Retire toolkit. In the Ready to Retire toolkit is the calculator that we talked about that will let you know how much you're giving up every week, every month, every day for whatever item you're purchasing. Also in the Ready to Retire toolkit are some platforms that will allow you to analyze your spending. So if you're like us and you don't like downloading stuff from the bank and from all your credit cards and putting them in a spreadsheet and going through it and sorting it and blah, blah, blah. There are free services online. Intuit has one, etc., where you can put in all of your accounts and it will do it for you. And that's how we've been able to keep our finances straight, Cosmos, because if it's left up to me to go through that stuff every month,
it's a lot.
I'd rather be sitting on the beach.
That's true.
Than doing a spreadsheet.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And thank you for that, newbie, and that. Thank you for that information. I mean, that's what we're here for everybody on the platform to be able to share their information. We don't know everything and we don't see everything. So it's always good when you get somebody to chime in that actually has dealt with something or saw something or, you know, thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely. We say this is a crowdsourcing program.
Yes.
We are going to crowdsource this information, and we're going to make sure that we are bringing you how you can live the life of your dreams, how you can retire early, how you can retire on time if you're starting late, like we did.
Folks, you don't need millions of dollars to retire.
No,
and I know people think that, I can't retire because I don't have $1 million+ in the bank. Yeah, you're going to be working until you're 80, 90 years old if you have to. As she always says, welcome to Walmart.
Yeah, we're not about that life.
You know, there's a lot of things that you can do to get yourself set up to have income steadily coming in. Don't depend on Social Security.
Oh.
You can't sit there and say, well, I'll have Social Security. I'll be okay.
No.
I'm not one of those people who thinks Social Security is going to go away. However, it is not enough. There are very few cities where you can live off of Social Security.
It's called social insecurity.
Yeah. Is that what you call it? But you will be insecure if that is all you're depending upon.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure you're not in that lane. So what are we going to talk about next week? We're still going to say we're going to stay on for another 2 minutes if you've got questions. But next week we have A. James coming, and he is a real estate investor, as well as the owner of A. James Coins and Jewelry. So he invests in gold and jewelry, as well as real estate. He retired early and right now is living off of his rental income and the income from his hobby, which is collecting gold and selling gold. He turned it into a money-making business. And so he's going to be here next week to tell us how do you become a millionaire like he is. From real estate investment, starting with zero. This is a man who has no formal education. He does not have a college degree. And so we're going to learn a lot. I'm very excited. That's next week at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time, live.
It's funny. It's funny. You know, you never know who the millionaire is next door.
Yes.
Because they don't say anything.
No, that's why that book, The Millionaire Next Door.
You know, and there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of folks out there that are millionaires that live next door, and you never
know. Exactly.
They may be living in that 3-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow.
Yes.
But it's paid off, probably.
Yes, it's paid off.
And maybe they own 2 or 3 or 4 more that you don't know about.
So why not be the millionaire next door?
Yes.
That's right.
You can all be that.
Exactly.
You can all be that. You can all be that. So we're going to close out. I'm going to give Cosmos the final word before we do our thing. But I want to just check through the comments and make sure there are not any more questions. I believe I'm seeing Facebook stuff, and we're on our way. May 31st, we're out. May 31st, we're on our way to Europe with tickets that we did not have to pay for.
Europe, love it.
Creative means,
You know, there is a way there. You can house hack and not pay your mortgage. Put that mortgage into an investment account. You can travel hack by using cards and this and that and get those miles. You know, there are lots of ways to do this thing creatively.
Yeah,
I wouldn't concentrate so much on clipping coupons and all of that stuff.
No, well, and it's different programs that we have that will go through all those different things. How to take, you know, a European vacation on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, we
did without
it.
Having to pay
and without getting in debt.
Without having to pay Airbnb prices or hotel prices and live there good. I mean, you'd be surprised. People in Europe go on vacations for months.
Months.
We struggle to get 2 weeks off.
Right. Right? And so this is why we're having this conversation, Cosmas,
Yes.
because we don't believe that you should have to ask for permission
Mm-mm.
to get rest. We don't believe that you should have to ask for permission to take care of yourself or
Mm-mm.
your family members.
Yes.
But by goodness, don't we have to ask for permission to go to a doctor's appointment? Or
Unfortunately.
to take the benefits that they lured us to the job
Oh,
with. They
yes,
said,
yes.
come work here, you get 3 weeks off.
Yes.
But what they didn't say is, if you try to take that consecutively, we're going to say no.
Mm.
We're going to say no,
Mm.
right?
A lot of different ways to get things done.
So
That is
final
so
words,
true.
Cosmas, what would you like folks to take away from this session?
Well,
We've been talking for an hour and a half.
Thank you. Well, this pandemic, to me, for everyone, is a detour of you stopping and thinking, because many people don't think. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich. It
Yes.
did not say grow rich and think. It's just the
Then
other way
start
around.
thinking.
You have to think first. So this COVID really made it for us to be able to think twice about where we're going. Everybody's speeding so fast, nobody thinks anymore.
Right,
So
right.
there's so much we can do, but as a community of our own people, we have work to do, but we have to reach out to each other like we're being reached out to you guys right now.
Yes.
So thank you, Rick and Halisi. This has been awesome. I can't wait to come back and help anyone that I can. I'm a true servant. I want to be able to serve and help people.
Definitely. So here's the deal. We want to have you back, Cosmas, in some months. And
Okay.
we want to hear about some victory stories.
Yes.
Maybe you can bring some people on, because people actually, when they hear other people's stories and they hear how other folks do it, then they get inspired. So we're
Yes.
definitely going to bring you back, and we want to hear some victory stories from some folks that you've worked with.
Amen.
In the meantime, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please
both.
like and subscribe to our channel.
I will.
Thank
I will.
you for turning us on to this.
Oh yes, thank
Yes.
you, Rick, and thank you, Halisi. And anyone that needs a copy of that book, definitely get in touch with me. I'll definitely make sure that we're able to reach each other. No problem. Yeah.
I am going to put your information back on the screen there. That's how you can get in touch with Cosmas. If you're watching this in the replay, this
Yes.
will also be in the description.
Yes.
So just look down there and click. You can get our Ready to Retire toolkit, which will give you all of the information to get you started to retire. And if you're watching this live, you probably have about 3 more minutes to get Beyond the Bling, and then it will no longer be available.
Yes.
My name is Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
Yes.
Thank you, Cosmos. We love
Thank you.
We
You
will
guys are
definitely
awesome.
have you back. You are awesome.
Yes.
And we
appreciate
love all of you.
Yes, we
Yes.
love you so much. We'll see
Love
you next
everyone.
week.
See you next week.
Thank
Take
you, guys.
care.
Thank you both. Appreciate
All
you.
right. Be
Bye,
well.
everyone. You guys have fun. Bye.